heart to reveal the hidden things. Put your finger on whatever you want me to release tonight. So I renounce any fear of letting go or dealing with whatever you want me to deal with. Sometimes there's ungodly weights and burdens. There's burdens that are godly. Jesus said, my burden is light, my yoke is easy. There's yokes that are right. But what oppresses us is ungodly weights and burdens. Matthew 23, verse 4, it talks about heavy burdens. Isaiah 10:27 talks about yokes. It says, and it shall come to pass. That's a good word. It shall come to pass. It shall come to pass. Say, class. It shall come to pass. In that day his burden shall be taken off thy shoulders and off thy neck, and the yoke destroyed because of the anointing. Say the anointing of God. So I'm called to walk in the anointing. I'm called to release other people. By the anointing of God. Sometimes we're carrying other people's stuff. This is very, very common, especially with women, grandmothers. Women tend to take on their children's burdens, their grandchildren's burdens. There just tend to be more burden bearers. But sometimes men do it too. But I find this is more common with women. But there was a woman, she's a friend of mine, it's funny, I was just thinking about her, and out of the blue, and then she calls me and she says, where are you at? What are you doing? I said, I'm in Texas. And she says, oh, in Texas, and where? In Texas, Houston. And this is amazing. Okay, all these connections. She goes, my sister lives in Houston. She got cancer. I've been trying to connect her with you. And so, anyway, she's learned from me, and she's ministering in Maui. In fact, what she does, she's the minister. She loves to minister to the homeless. She's got a call to the street people home. She's just drawn to them. And so she used to minister to them and try to lead them to the Lord, and there was a lot of resistance and not that much success. And so now what she does is, what I do is we probe and search and find out what's going on in people's lives and then help people release. So now what she does is she says to people, she asks the Lord who to connect with, and then she says, can I pay you $10 for an hour of your time to tell me your story? They're like, honored. They're like, sure. She says, I pick out somebody to give to $10 to anyway. And so guess what? Almost every single time as they release and they share, and then she listens and she gathers information to praise for them, almost every single time, 10 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10 they get saved. So hallelujah. Amen. So she said, I just love this method. Anyway, so one day I'm in Maui ministering, and she wakes up in the morning and she had this extreme pain, deep pain right above her heart. And so I do this little simple technique the Lord showed me, and I just said, especially when I'm in a rush, and I said, just put your hand on your heart. Okay, close your eyes. Okay, Lord, show her. I said, what? Sometimes I just touch the person's hand gently. And I just said, okay, what feelings, emotions, thoughts, memories, anything come up? Don't think about this. What comes up? And she says, oh, I'm thinking about this homeless boy. And she said, my heart just breaks for him. She said he was born in the islands, and he was adopted and he was raised in California. When he was 18, which is just this year or so, past year, his father said, it's time for you to leave, and I think you should go back to the islands and find your father. He didn't have any clues of where his father was or anything, the adopted father. He just said, your father's in Honolulu. So he's over there, it's a big city, he lands there, and so he's riding the bus. And he's talking to the bus driver, and the bus driver says, you look really familiar. He says, well, I'm looking for my father. He starts telling the story, gives some clues. The guy says, I know your father. He used to ride on my bus every day. But he died on my bus. He had a heart attack just like 2 weeks ago. Talk about divine appointment. And the boy is just so heartbroken. He's just so close and to finding his father. And she said, you identify with his pain. Something in her life identified with his pain. And so I had her release the pain, the ungodly burden that she was carrying for him. She really cared for him. She had compassion for him. You know, but she took on his stuff in an ungodly way. Okay, instead of releasing his pain to the Lord, letting Jesus take it, carry it, she took it. So she released it, I prayed for her, and the pain lifted. Say hallelujah. Hallelujah. And I see this very, very common. I see many, many breakthroughs in people's bodies tied to this, you know, carrying other people's stuff. There was a woman I was ministering to, and she said, I'm just so hurting, I'm just so grieving. And I said, well, what's been going on? She said, well, my husband's brother died. Were you close to him? No, not really close to him. How's your husband doing? Well, he's really close to his brother, but he's not able to grieve. He's not able to connect with the pain. I said, are you maybe, you know, helping him, you carrying his pain, the pain that he can't release? She starts weeping and sobbing because he couldn't express it, identify with it. She is taking on herself because of one flesh. She released it and she was healed. So grief and sorrow and mourning, these are also things that we need to release. And I'm dealing with this on a regular basis as a teacher on grief and sorrow. We all got to deal with the spirit of grief and sorrow. It's very shocking, it's very traumatic. Sometimes people never recover from the losses. We're not usually prepared in dealing with it. We don't usually get that much help in dealing with and releasing the pain. And you know, one of the keys is that we believe that word that says he took not only our sins, but he carried our griefs and our sorrows. He took them into himself so that we could be released, so we can be healed. There was a woman I was mentioning to recently, and she had pain in her intestinal problems and pain, and pain in her neck, extreme pain in her neck and her back. And so I had her put, and she looked really normal. She just comes up normal, you know, not looking unhappy or sad or anything. And so I had her put her stomach on her stomach on her hand. And you know what DAM stands for? Mothers Against Dyslexia. So it was quick, you know. People in Hawaii are like, damn. What's she talking about? The Texans are quick. So she was really normal, you know. And I said, put your hand on your belly. Okay, tell me what comes up. What do you feel? And she says, my husband committed suicide 6 months ago. But she looked so normal. So I had to release that pain and grief, and so she just starts travailing. All this bottle of travail and pain and sorrow just came rushing out. And I just let her weep. And I'm weeping with her. So many times, you know, it's just a wonderful thing about us, weep with those who weep. You know? And there's a connection that happens when you weep with those who weep. There's a connection that happens when you laugh with those who laugh. When you rejoice with those who rejoice. Isn't that right? And sometimes it's fun to laugh with those who laugh, but sometimes it's more challenging to weep with those who weep, but it's a good thing to do. It's a command. So anyway, you know, she did release, and there was some other issues tied to that, and of course the pain lifted and she was healed. So hallelujah. Sometimes it's a past that we got to release. The enemy is always leveraging the past against us, dwelling on the past, dwelling on past failures and sins and regrets. You know, somebody said this: as you're driving, are you looking at the windshield through the windshield, or are you looking at the mirror? And so, but a lot of times there's stuff that just needs to be released, that past stuff, and we just got to bring it to the cross and leave it there. Bitterness and unforgiveness. This is what I want to share mostly about tonight. Sometimes one of the most challenging things that we are called to release, or commanded to release, is bitterness and unforgiveness.